Well, the final push before the first in the South Republican primary, former President Donald Trump making his pitch to voters today in South Carolina. Now, Queen City News is your local election headquarters. Daniel Pierce joins us now live from Rock Hill, where Trump just wrapped up his speech and said he isn't worried about tomorrow. Daniel?
Yeah, this right here seemed not just a rally to whip up support. I mean, he is leading the polls here in South Carolina against Nikki Haley. Tonight, the message largely from those who spoke was calling on Nikki Haley to drop out and then put her support behind former President Donald Trump. That was a message whenever Tim Scott took the stage. Keep in mind that he is one of the top names whenever we talk about potential vice president nominees. And we also heard from Marjorie Taylor Greene. Again, Trump been leading the polls here in South Carolina. Supporters say, yeah, they know it. And they said that it is not a surprise to them. The president spoke for an hour and 39 minutes. That, I'm told, is one of the longer speeches that he's done. And in that, he hit a lot of the major talking points. He did speak about IVF treatments. He also went on a lot about the border wall, saying that he was going to get in. He was going to continue his mission there. He also talked a whole lot about crime, not just in D.C., but he mentioned crime here in South Carolina, saying that in his eyes, it's gone too far. He did spend some time as well. He went to this talking point 2 to 3 times. He continued to push the fact that in his eyes, the election in 2018 or 2020 was stolen, that it was rigged. He even said that that might be the case this time, laying the groundwork. Again, that is just a conspiracy theory that he continues to push. He also went on about economics. This right here was a statement that got a lot of support from a lot of cheers, I should say, from his supporters whenever it came to his ideas on how to get the economy back on track.
Win, you're all getting the biggest tax cuts because we're doing additional cuts and a brand new Trump economic boom, a boom like you've never seen before, not even in our great 4 years. When I was president, we slashed taxes for working families. We doubled the child tax credit. Not a very Republican thing to do, but I said, let's do it anyway. That was something that we wanted to do. And
he also laid the groundwork, saying that he was going to start drilling again here in the U.S., went on a little bit about gas prices being astronomically high. To keep in mind, though, for reference, here in the Rock Hill area in South Carolina, they're about $2.71 to the highest that I saw on the way in was about $3.01. Tonight at 10 o'clock, we'll have more from tonight's speech. We'll hear from voters and also have the message that Nikki Haley sent out to supporters about 45 minutes before the former president took the stage. Live in Rock Hill, South Carolina, Daniel Pierce, Queen City News.